Nobody talks about how bad Europe must have been after the war. Everybody talks about the war, but nobody talks about how bad the society must have been broken down like crazy.
The thing is that we were. I really don't know how Abba got the cashier with the people that they should take us to go clandestine away from.
Clandestine, to go from place to place.
From Poland. From Poland.
Why did he have to go clandestine? Oh, you mean because the other countries wouldn't accept people, so people were sneaking across the borders?
we were, you know how we first of all we dressed and we went late at night by a bus that took us to the border, the bus that took us to the border of Czechoslovakia. That was the first stop. We were in there, we passed the borders, with everything was paid off.
So you passed the borders through the road or through the forest or illegally?
No,
or?
I think that in closed up cars, like for that we were all choked from the like how to call it. We had the covers. It was like you carry
illegal people. Yeah, I could imagine.
We were in a bus that had benches on both sides, and we were sitting, and on top we had a cover. They covered, and como una masa, you know what it is.
Yeah.
And we went and we came into Czechoslovakia. In Czechoslovakia, when we were by the border, there was Russians watching Czechoslovakia. So they told us...
The Russian army was
there.
Yeah.
And they told us we shouldn't talk any languages. We should say that we are from Greece. We shouldn't mention that we are Jews. Blah, 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 nothing. And we went to how to call it. We went to Czechoslovakia. In Czechoslovakia we stayed, I don't know how long. Again in schools and this.
What amazes me is, how did you eat from day to day?
Oh, they had kitchens that they fed us.
Oh yeah?
You used to go to the America, everything America. UNRWA. It was after the war. UNRWA had kitchens we consider to be not immigrants.
DP. Displaced people.
DP. And we stayed, I don't know how long in Czechoslovakia, until it was a way to go further. But in Czechoslovakia, it make no sense to go. Maybe we went with the direction to go to Israel, it can be. So we went one night.
You don't remember when the first conversation of Israel was, or?
No, it was at that time, there was no country.
No country at that time, that's true.
We listened and we saw that they were talking that Arabs
I mean, Abba still had Leon in the United States, but that wasn't a conversation.
Not in the United States, in Israel.
Oh, he was in Israel at that time?
Of course.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, what am I talking about?
Yeah. Miriam and Zvika was a kid.
How long did you stay in Czechoslovakia? You don't remember?
I don't remember. Very short.
So what happened? So from Czechoslovakia you went
to Austria.
Austria.
In Austria.
Where in Austria?
In Austria. Where were we in Austria? We were in Austria. We were in Linz. In barracks where the Germans used to be, the Gestapo. I have a spoon from there that was written.
Oh, that's where that spoon came from?
Well, but Jennifer says she would kosher it if I give her as a this. And in Austria we were in a kibbutz. or maybe a kibbutz we were, I don't know. Only it was in Austria we were in a kibbutz, and there I was already high pregnant, and I had my Shlomo, again.
You had Yossi.
Got Yossi, and we met Shor in Austria. Aber when I saw people bring earrings, I felt I wanted to stick earring. Mochten sie gegeben, ein bisschen Pischach soup. The best hat man auch geschleppt. So they gave us a little soup, they gave me, there's no fruit, no nothing. I was pregnant, and one night, and we lived in a open barracks, wooden barracks. And there I got pain, and they took me to a hospital in Austria in the city of Linz. And I gave birth to Joseph.
That was November of what year was that?
It was November.
39 or what year was
No,
Joe
no,
born?
that for sure was.
I mean, not 39.
It was 46.
45, 46.
46, of course 46.
Yeah.
Yossi was born in 46. That
Remember
was
what date you left Russia?
It was the end of. No, no, Shlomo.
You don't remember the date?
No.
That's amazing.
Yeah, amazing. It's how 100 years ago, 50, no more. It's 50 years we are from Israel.
So you carried him full term?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what, it was a very bad thing, because we were in a kibbutz, Yehud, a kibbutz, as we long tables, that I forget, I didn't forget, long tables, and with benches, and they put out bread and whatever they gave us, and you have to sing Lete Yavon, Lete Yavon, and until we sang the Lete Yavon, the young kids got the food, and I never had what to eat, and I was always hungry. A pregnant woman, and until to get this piece of bread, I gave birth to Shlomo, to Yossi. In 6 weeks, he was 6 years old. It was in December. He was born in November, so maybe in the beginning of January. That I remember. He was very sick. He got a cold in the ears, and he had high temperature. And we had to take him to that hospital. And there were no children's hospitals in Linz. They took him no, they very nice behaved in the hospital. I was afraid. 1, 2, 3, the baby came out. I didn't have no problem. I was hungry, that's all. After that, he got sick. They took me to a hospital. I knew even the name of the hospital. Now I forgot. And they took me out of Linz in a little town, a children's hospital. And there, it was cold, and he got from the cold, and the ears went to the head. He had a middle ear incident, they call it.
Infection.
Yeah, complex. And he was skinny, a little skinny, 6 weeks. And he was not a big child.
Yeah.
And in that, he was very, very sick. And nothing helped. Whatever they did didn't help. And the doctor, a very nice man, there were few women like me there with kids. Only they had a little cold, and the barracks was very cold, so they took him there. They had to eat there and clean. And he said, listen, he says, Frisch, he needs penicillin. At that time, that was the top medication.
Yeah, penicillin.
Yeah, and he said, if you can get penicillin, because we don't have it, and we can maybe save him. Abba was in the hospital. It was a long ride, a train. to that. That I don't remember. And he went he inquired, and they told him where the UNRWA is. And he went there and he told them the story. The doctor wrote a prescription, and they, to save a Jewish child, because they were afraid maybe they're gonna kill him. We thought everyone is a German, a murderer, and they give Abba the penicillin. And that day was a storm, a winter storm, and the snow was up to here. And the train didn't go. Went a little, and they stopped, and they said they can't go anywhere. Abba left the train, and he walked in the snow. He came, he was all frozen up. And he said to the doctor, and I sit here and cry, the baby's dying. And they saw that he was so anemic, he needed blood. And when Abba told me, I had malaria, my wife had malaria, I haven't had a lighter form. Abba said, horse. And what happened? He said, we can take your blood. And they started to check every nurse that had the same blood as Joseph, and he really looks like a Yaki. And they give him the blood straight from
somebody who had his blood.
Yeah, I remember a strong, beautiful shiksa.
Yeah.
I didn't even have something to give her a present.
Yeah.
And they gave him blood, and they gave the penicillin. They couldn't give him in the hand because he was only skin. So in the head, they used to give the needles with penicillin, and it started to be a little better. In the blood. And the night before the crisis, in the morning, the doctor said, and all the women that were there with the kids, they ran away. They ran home. Yeah. They didn't want to stay there. And the last night was very bad. And he woke up, Joseph, and he got a little better. The temperature passed. And the doctor said, he came out, he checked, young, frisch, and he said, heute Nacht haben seine Kind einen Sohn geboren. הלילה הזה היית pregnant והולדת ילד.
This night your son was reborn.
No, you give birth to a baby.
Yeah.
And little by little he got better from the penicillin, and I went to Berkshire. In Berkshire we stayed a year maybe, not even a year, there in Austria. And again came from the UNRWA, and they had this, and they said, you want to live? We lived in a house where was once a crazy house, crazy people, and we had Yossi. Where shall I put him to sleep? I put him in I asked where they give us the little food. A box, a carton box, and I put a little. I had 10 diapers. That's all. And when I used to change them, somebody from Austria left for Italy, and we couldn't go because I have a small baby. And I used to push him under the blanket, a feather blanket, and take him to change the diaper. And the diaper I wash by hand in cold water, and somebody give me a iron and put coal, in the restaurant where they cooked in the place, and this way he was clean. And I taught him he was a baby. I sat him at night on the potty because I didn't have any diapers. This took a while until again was Aliyah